Oh, boom diggity.
What a day. What a
Diggity.
day. Today is going to be a day filled with positivity, optimism, and aesthetically pleasing visuals. Because let me tell you, monsters, when you find an album, nay, an artist, nay, just a personality that embodies color, brightness, boldness, individuality, and positivity, like our guest today, oh my gosh, this is exactly who and what we need this 2020. He is the guy that we need. His album is what we need. I'm just so excited to have him on the show,
To
honestly.
have a song, Blueberry Eyes, that alone will give you all the color, the flavor, and it's applicable for all seasons, whether it's
Mhm.
2020, 2021, whatnot. We got him live from Los Angeles, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on the show none other than Max.
Hey,
Hey,
baby. Thank you, guys.
Max.
What's up,
Hey,
guys? Thank you for having me.
Thank
What a
you
brilliant
so much.
intro.
Thank you for joining us. We were really excited to have you on this show because, like I said, and like Rico said as well, your music, especially like all of the tracks on Color Vision, it's so perfect for right now. And I mean, with the aesthetics and all the color, it's just such a great way to sort of not really escape, but kind of escape from all of the pandemonium and the darkness that's going on around the world right now. So before anything else, Max, how are you? How have you been? How has this crazy year been for you so far?
I'm so grateful, honestly. I feel like so much of this year, when everything happened, I feel like we all felt like, we all had all these plans, and so it's hard to accept reality. But honestly, I'm so grateful because the week quarantine started, my wife got pregnant, and we're about to have our baby girl pretty soon, and I really got to spend a lot more time on finishing this album, doing the music videos. So honestly, it's been an incredible year, and it just goes to show you never know what to expect, and just be open to whatever the universe has in store for you.
And
That's so
Carla, if you're
true.
wondering why he's smiling so much, other than he's expecting a baby girl, congratulations to Los Angeles, the Dodgers, the
Uh,
Lakers, both champions. How are you guys celebrating all that in Los Angeles now?
Oh, it's amazing. Funny you said because I know we're going to talk about SUGA, but we've been going back and forth about the NBA finals. We were sending pictures back and forth because we're such big basketball fans, and I'm a diehard New York fan. I'm a Knicks fan, but all my teams in New York are terrible. So now that I'm in Atlanta and LA, it is nice to hear the fireworks. It's just not. It's like a little. Last night I was shooting some videos and suddenly there's fireworks all over. So it's cool to be in LA while it's so much love and excitement. Great teams. I think they could take it home for the next sports too. It'll be great to see if the Rams win too. That'd be crazy.
All right,
Oh
that'll
my
be.
gosh, Rico, you have got your sports buddy right now. You have got
Hey,
your
Oh,
sports
he's
best
already know.
friend. I mean,
He's a-
Max, a lot of people right now, especially the monsters who listen in, they are requesting for Blueberry Eyes. Now, before we talk about that, I really want to talk about the journey to get to Color Vision because I know you've been doing a lot of press tours, you've been doing a lot of interviews already. But what I
yeah,
find so
yeah.
interesting is that, your debut album, Hell's Kitchen Angel, came out in 2016. And for 4 years, you weren't really doing your music. You were doing, collabs. You were doing collaborations with
Mhm.
other artists. You were working with other artists. And then you decide to release your second album in such a crazy pandemic filled year, right? I mean, most artists, a lot of them, when we ask, we're like, did you have a moment where you were like, yeah, if I drop this now, I don't really know because it's not like I'll be able to tour live. Like when you were going to release this second baby, I mean, not your actual baby, but this second baby of
Yeah.
yours, Color Vision, did you have any hesitation? Did you have any, doubts? Or were you thinking with your management or your label, like, guys, maybe we hold back? Like, what was the process in releasing Color Vision?
Well, we definitely almost held back. It was supposed to come out in May, and so it came out in September instead. So we held
Mm-hmm.
back a little bit, but overall, I'd been waiting. The fans been waiting so long, 4 years, and that just caught up to me. I didn't even realize it'd been that much time. I was just promoting Lights Down Low and songs from that other album, and suddenly it's 4 years later, and I'm like, wow, I got to drop this album already. So of course, the year became what it was, but honestly, this is the best year to put out music in a way because we need joy right now. We need something to hold on to, escape, feel that optimism, like you were saying earlier. And so, honestly, I'm grateful that it came out this year of all years. So hopefully, when people look back, it brought them a little joy in what otherwise is a pretty dark year.
Mm, that's
I mean,
so true. That's
having a
right. We really need it.
they call it 2020 for a reason because it makes everybody see clearly. You know what I mean? Get that vision,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
So
Rico, with like the
that's
wisdom. Okay,
yeah.
we see you. No, but what I find so interesting, Max, is that I feel like there's no such thing as coincidence. Things don't happen by accident. I
Mm-mm.
feel like everything is down to fate and destiny. And I mean, when you were writing the songs for Color Vision, it was actually in a sort of like a dark point in your life because for those that
Mm-hmm.
don't know, you actually had vocal surgery during the
Mm-hmm.
time that you decided to write those songs and you spent 4 months like not being able to actually sing. So I feel like it was like a prequel to what 2020 was going to be like for everyone else. Can you talk to us about that experience? Because as an artist, as somebody who not only makes a living but enjoys their job, that was taken away from you, right? So that must have been a
Yeah.
crazy ride in itself.
It was unreal. First off, you guys are wonderful. Know your stuff, boo boo. I love it. It's amazing. I appreciate that when I'm being interviewed. It's so nice. I appreciate it. Wonderful journalist. It was a dark time for me, and yeah, I think we take things for granted, little things for granted. I took my voice for granted. It's my whole world in so many ways. It's my job. It's how I communicate with my wife. I didn't get to say I love you to her for months, verbally, and those little things are what I never really thought would be something that I would take for granted ever. But losing them, honestly, any trauma in your life brings so much reality, and it makes you feel so grateful for the things, especially when you get it back. When I got my voice back, singing again, everything was just magical. I never took another show for granted. I never took another anything. I didn't take a recording for granted, and I didn't take another moment when I say I love you to her for granted. It really, every moment. I'm gonna teach my baby girl sign language when she's born because I still do vocal rest and stuff. So there's a lot of wonderful things that came out of it. But in that time when I was trapped in my head for those 4 months, it definitely, you view the world differently. And I'm grateful that I could view it differently and then be just back in my reality of being able to sing and do what I love. So it was wild, but I'm glad I got out the other side.
With the changing, I mean, with the vocal surgery, there must be what are the adjustments that you have made now? Are you adjusting your singing style? Are you still hitting the high notes? What kind of style are you doing now with it? With the
I'm
adjustment?
definitely I'm definitely hitting the high notes. I honestly, my voice, it's been about 2 years since the surgery now, and I do feel stronger than I ever did. I think because I really take technique even more seriously. I spend a lot more time just warming up, taking time to rest. It really is. We are athletes vocally. A lot of people say that, but
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James, he takes his rest seriously just as much as he takes his playing seriously. He's still the heads in the game, but I think that's what's changed in me. I learned sign language so I could talk to my wife when I take little vocal rest days. But I also just, I make sure to warm up every day, and I make sure not to do like 7 shows in a row or a ton of performances. I'm more strategic with it, I would say, and that's been a big change that I'm grateful for because we're not invincible. None of us are invincible. You gotta plan accordingly.
See, that's some
You
great
know,
learnings, Carla. I mean, you
Yeah.
come
And
forth.
Max, one thing that I think a lot of your fans and a lot of just music lovers in general appreciate about you is that you're always very honest and very open about everything that goes on in your life. And I think, there are a lot of artists that they're more concerned about writing hits or, writing like chart toppers, whereas
Mm-hmm.
you took a very different route. You said in several interviews that your music really is grounded on reality. I mean, that comes from a place of vulnerability as well, security,
Mm-hmm.
yes, but vulnerability. I mean, when it comes to writing your songs, how do you do it, like especially when you had that vocal rest, when you really couldn't sing? Because other artists, they'll be discouraged, or they'll be sad about it, or they'll be like, what, I'm just not going to think about music because it's just going to make me sad. Whereas you
Mm-hmm.
took a very different route. What, I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to write about it. How do you get into that kind of a headspace? Because I think that's so applicable even for people who aren't artists now. How do you get to a good headspace where you can take that negativity, you can take that struggle, and you can translate it beautifully?
Beautiful question. I really just try to. I'm honest to a fault sometimes. I can never surprise my wife. I just brought her mom in, and I surprised her a day early, and she almost caught me like 6 times, and I could just never lie to her. But I try to translate it into my music too, because I realized with Lights Down Low, I had a lot of people tell me I can't be open about using it as the song that I proposed to Emily with, and so much of that
Mm,
story, and that felt so weird as a musician. The greatest gift I get to do as a musician, and in so many other fields as well, is just being able to connect with people and being able to know that where it came from, that story. When I meet someone who I've never met, but they listen to the music, I meet them for the first time, and it feels like we've known each other all of our lives. And that's the beautiful connection to music. And I think it only comes when you're honest. It only comes when the story is really vulnerable underneath it, so that someone really hears your story, they relay it to their own story, and you find that connection. That's all we're looking for in this life, right? So that to me is why it's easy to do it, but sometimes I get in trouble. I remember I wrote a song with my friends AJR called Home on my last album, and it was about this pregnancy scare I had with my wife. And it was before, we were getting ready for babies, and I knew them well, but like we had never gotten this deep together. I come home, I show her the song, she's like, "You told them about our pregnancy scare? You don't even know these people that well." And I was like, that's just what it is. As a writer, you just gotta walk in the room and you say, let's leave it all on the table, and hopefully the song is something people care about. And she's gotten used to it since. She's cool with it now.
So I think we can all agree Max is not the person you tell a secret to.
No, don't tell me secret.
About everything. I mean, but imagine this, Max. So you write a song, for example, if it's a heartbreak song. So you write a song about a heartbreak, and you have to perform it, and it becomes a hit. How does you, an artist, handle that? You have to perform it over and over and over and be asked about it.
Oh, it's honestly, it's all of it. I mean, that's why I just try to stay truthful and not do any stupid stuff. Just keep it, do the right thing, because I can't tell a lie. And it's got me in trouble. I've written songs about ex-girlfriends and things like that, and they've come back to bite me sometimes. So it's important for me to just get out there and feel it every time. That's my job. And so even with the breakup song, it's hard. I have a song called "Where Am I At" on this album. It's about losing someone I really cared about. And every time I sing it, I feel the same way I did when I wrote it. And that's the beauty of a love song and a breakup song. You just have to sing it. I think about Adele every time she sings a breakup song, and she just gives it, and she's the inspiration for sure. You just have to feel it each time. So hopefully other people feel it.
That is so true, because honestly, when it comes to, I feel like music is so powerful in that sense. Like people always say, oh yeah, music's great and stuff, but it really hits you differently every single time. It's like no matter at what point you are in your life, if you listen to a certain song again, it hits different. And I think that's what makes your music so special. And I love that you always you reference your wife and the journey you guys have taken. And it makes us feel like we know you a little bit more because you're sharing your life. And I think that's so special, because you've got over 1 billion streams, Max. I mean, like, obviously people love your music, and obviously it means something to them. So from taking something so personal and translating it into something so universal is such a gift that you have. So, I mean, congratulations, because not a lot of artists can do that. And not a lot of artists can say that they have, over 1 billion streams, 2 albums in. I mean, hello, like, right? That's insane, Max. Like, kudos to you. Now, we can't talk about billions of streams. We can't talk about, fans without talking about this track. I mean, everyone's like, listen, Karla, Rico, we're here for Blueberry Eyes. Before we get into the SUGA part, because I know you guys are tight, which I think is so freaking cool. We will get to that. Let's talk about the fact that this is about your wife. I mean, Max, how do you write songs about her? Like, do you just sometimes, like, you're just staring at her like, dang, I'm going to write something right now? Like, what was the process of Blueberry Eyes? Because I am like, we have a term in the Philippines. It's called kilig. Okay? Kilig. It means giddy. Giddy. Like, when I found out the story behind it, I was like, oh my gosh, why couldn't that be me? Why isn't somebody writing about my brown eyes? Because they're not blueberry. Talk to us about Blueberry Eyes. What is the story behind this incredible song?
Oh, well, thank you. And of course, it's always other fans. So much other fans. The billions are nothing. They make the billions. But my daughter might have brown eyes, so I will write a brown eyes song next. Don't worry. But the Blueberry Eyes song is it's been easy. Emily, ever since she came to my life, has been an incredible muse, and she has the most beautiful blue eyes. Her mom's here, and that's also her mom's favorite song in the album. And she's the OG with the blue eyes. And they just look like, gorgeous ocean blueberry eyes. The Ocean Eyes was taken, obviously. Billie Eilish wrote that song, so I made Blueberry Eyes. And it just, I write a lot of love songs for her, and sometimes it's they feel good, and she listens. She's always kind about it, but certain ones just stand above the rest. There's the Lights Down Lows, the Blueberry Eyes, and I know, and it means something to her, and she's honest with me, always about it. So it's amazing when something actually means so much to her, and then it translates and it means something to other people. She's the test, and if she really loves it, it's amazing. But I wrote this one honestly. She's my dream girl. I've been with the wrong people before her, and they all taught me lessons, as most relationships do. But I wrote the song basically about how I dreamed my future wife and mother my children would be, and how her heart would be, her soul would be, her eyes, her look, and then waking up to that dream every day, and looking at her when I wake up in the morning, and knowing that every day I love waking up with her and my little dog, and it's a dream, and I'm grateful for this life, and I never want to take it for granted. And that's what the song is about, both dreaming of it and waking up to the dream. And everybody deserves to wake up to the dream. And hopefully you all get to, because just being patient, it comes. And believe me, I didn't think it would happen. I think I'd be marrying the love of my life 9 months after our first date. But it happens, and you just got to go with it.
Max, you just turned me into a songwriter. I'm writing
There you
a song.
go.
Everybody
Oh
that's
my
listening, we're all writing songs about dreams and girls and dream girls and getting that one that we truly deserve. But hey, man, awesome sauce though of how you can share that and how your wifey is like all happy about it, man. And when it comes to this, when you're writing music, do you listen to certain albums? Like, do you go back and listen to a vinyl of Marvin Gaye, or do you listen to
Mm,
who do you listen to when you're in the creative process to somehow channel
great.
soulful music?
Classics, Marvin Gaye, of course, Etta James, Billy Joel, James Brown, Prince, of course, one of my all-time favorites. Michael Jackson, just this classic songwriting. And then, of course, I'm such a big Justin Timberlake, NSYNC, classic pop, Britney Spears. And I love to just dig into those and feel so connected to where they started. I love hearing songs of how stories are written for songs, because it inspires me that it just comes from that organic place, and you just got to chase that little spark. And so I listen to all of those greats and give love to them. And when I get to work with them, I've been Army and a fan of BTS for so long. Getting to actually have SUGA be a part of the song, I've been listening to them so long. They've been an inspiration, and now to have them on the record, that is a dream come true. So all those, and Stevie Wonder, of course. I forgot to mention Stevie Wonder, of course.
How did the Sugar and your collaboration happen? Did you email him? Did you shoot him a message? Did the label
It
make it?
it started as a friendship, right? Because you were working with him during the 4 year. Okay, let's talk about it for those that don't know, because I am like
Sure.
Max's stalker here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a
I
journalist.
love
People.
it.
Like,
I'm so grateful for it. I love when a journalist just does the research. I appreciate the time and the effort and the kindness. It's amazing. So you're slaying it. I love it.
thank you, Max. You're slaying it harder. Okay, let's talk about this incredible collaboration. So let's start with the friendship with Suga. I mean, like
Mhm.
you said, you've been listening to BTS. I mean, everybody around the world has been listening to BTS. They're like one of
Sure.
the biggest, if not the biggest group right now. So
Mhm.
how did that friendship even start? How did this correspondence start between the two of you?
It just came naturally. I mean, Jungkook gave love to my music a few years ago, like almost 3 years ago now, and I started diving in. Then when I saw he gave love to a song called "One More Weekend" and sang it, I was like, "Who is this guy?" And he's an amazing voice, and so I started listening to their music. And then over the years, he kept giving love to the songs. And then Suga one day gave love to my song "Love Me Less," and I would always just put that on the internet, just a thank you for putting on our playlist, or just I kept just giving love whenever they'd give love, and that was mutual back and forth. And finally, I went to Korea in January for the first time, and I just said to my team, like, "Hey guys, if there's any way that you can reach out to them," and the first time ever, that usually it comes just via like DMs, but I can't really DM them. So I asked if they could make it happen with Big Hit, and they were down. They were excited to meet, and so I met Suga at Big Hit, and I really didn't expect much. I thought we'd just maybe say thank you to each other for the love on each other's music, take a picture, but it was the most transformative day of my musical life. We just bonded. We love basketball. We love Korean food. We love music, and you just I think sometimes you meet people that you just know you're meant to be friends with. Truly, it's just like a soul
Mm-hmm.
bond where it's too easy and you don't expect it. You can't force it. And with us, it was just a soul bond. And so we dove in. He asked me a part of Burn It on August D that day, which I definitely didn't expect. And then I brought him to his first basketball game in LA. And at that game, I asked him to be on my song New Life. And then I just sent him the whole album because New Life wasn't the right one. And he chose Blueberry Eyes. And that is the story of how the
Wow.
songs came to be. Boom.
This is what I find so cool. He picks Blueberry Eyes, a very specific and special song. I mean, all your songs are special, but this one is about your wife, right? And what I find so cool is that you send it to him so it's complete, and he adds his own little twist. And for the
Mm.
monsters that haven't seen it yet, please watch the music video. It's incredible. But his part, which I find so cool, is where you and your wife are exchanging your wedding vows. right? And it's the two of
Hmm.
you like lip syncing his rap in Korean, which I was just like, oh my goodness. You both did you both have to learn
Yep.
his rap? I mean, what was that like? Did you ask him like to write it down and then did you have it translated? Like what is that verse in
Exactly.
English
Yeah.
if you
No.
could tell us? Yeah.
That's what we had a really good friend. My wife went to college with this amazing girl named Amanda Cho. Shout out to Amanda because she broke down the lyrics. She made like English phonetics. We slowed it down 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, and every night we'd learn a new line from the rap. And we just learned it in like 2.5 weeks, and then we did it, live for the video and went in for it. But it was amazing. And now I'm working. I'm getting another translation for a full Korean version. I'm gonna learn the whole thing in Korean and sing it because I really fell in love with the language. It's so rolls off the tongue so beautifully when you sing it, and so I'm excited to do more Korean songs. I never thought a year ago if you had asked me if I was going to sing songs in Korean, I probably wouldn't have expected it. But now I'm all about singing those Korean songs, baby. So Korean Blueberry Eyes coming soon.
Can you reenact? I'm gonna try to put you on the spot a little bit. Can you reenact the
Yeah,
rap part?
of
In
course. 내 그림 자루가루 나 주지 배 어둡기만 한 내 모두 제버렸노 나 자만 아무것도 원해지. Anyway, you get the rest. But yeah, I love it.
Max,
Hey,
that's sick. That is
man.
Thank
sick.
you.
And I mean, to
Man.
get Suga on that, he puts his verse, you make it part of the wedding vows, which I thought was so brilliant. In comes the army. Now, we
Yeah.
know BTS have an incredible fandom. Like, the army is probably one of the most important parts of, BTS and their success. And
Hmm.
it was, your song was received so well. And that's an understatement. So, how did that feel? Because yes, you have over 1 billion streams. Your fans know you for your songs, Hell's Kitchen, all that. Like, but this is a new wave of fandom. These are new listeners. So, what was that experience like? Being so loved by an incredibly like passionate fandom.
Oh, it's the most beautiful thing. It's been so fulfilling to spend so much time and have so much passion for this song and getting to work with Suga. And then I know that Army does not trust easily, and they know when something's authentic. And it's beautiful that they've embraced me and the song and my wife with such open arms. I get messages every day of like, can't wait to see your baby girl. I hope she's healthy. It's just there's such a kindness, and I know that that comes from them really trusting and being, very appreciative of the effort. And I love that about Army so much. They care about the effort. And that's what BTS has always been. It's been the fashion, the work, the choreography. I mean, when I went to that game with Suga, he had been shooting a music video all day and he was shooting the next day at like 5 in the morning, and he could hardly stay awake at the basketball game, but he was so passionate about it. And it just goes to show how hard they work for it. And that's why Army loves them so much and cares about the dedication. And that's why they are the most dedicated, incredible group of humans. So I'm grateful that they've welcomed me with open arms and been so wonderful with this song.
And
Woo!
speaking of welcoming with open arms, we know that you're gonna have a baby girl soon. And when that baby girl comes out, what would be the song or music you will be playing in her ears for the first time?
Ooh,
Oh.
great question. It's funny. I have a song on the album called Acid Dreams, and my
Uh-huh.
wife's just been around a lot of different sets for the shows and different live things. And for some reason, Baby Girl that's her favorite song in the womb right now. She dances like she kicks around, so that's apparently her favorite song in the womb of mine thus far. But my wife really loves this incredible artist, Casey Musgraves, and my wife is
Nice.
not like surprisingly, she's not really into music. she definitely fell into my lap as like being married to an artist, but she loves Casey Musgraves. So we listen to her all the time. She's gonna be played when Emily's giving birth, I'm sure. So shout out to I don't even get Casey Musgraves knows, or if she gets that kind of love, but I think that Casey Musgraves, because of the love with Emily, and I've grown to love too, will probably be one of the first artists she hears.
Please
Oh.
in here in the Monster, we have Max. He's joining us from Los Angeles. Blueberry Eyes is the title of the song of Max. I gotta go. We gotta go to some random questions right now.
Yes,
And
yes.
I noticed around your neck, you got that gold chain going on. How many K is that? No, I'm just joking.
I have no idea.
Rico.
Let's talk.
It's funny. I love jewelry, but I only love it when someone special gives it to me. So my partner Ryan, he's part of Party Peoples, and he like plays with me. Anytime you see a video with me and there's another guy who kind of looks like me, that's my partner Ryan, and he gave me this, which was so nice of him. So I just love. I don't even know what the carats are or anything. I just love that
Love that
when
chain,
I can
man.
carry them with me.
Love
Yeah.
that chain. Love that chain.
You're
Sorry,
such a
Carla.
Hell
good
yeah. Thanks,
person.
baby.
I'm
I have
sorry, can we just talk? He is such a good person. You know, when you hang out with somebody and then you walk away after the conversation, you're like, I was like a really good guy. That's a really good person. That's you, Max.
Oh,
Okay,
thanks.
Rico, go.
Thank
all
you.
right. So speaking of
Yeah.
blingy things, I told you I'm the random question guy, right?
Yes.
You get that first check at that biggest record deal you got.
Uh-huh.
What was that very first big purchase that you made that you're probably regretting right now?
You know what's funny? I don't buy a lot of stuff for myself. Like my wife is amazing with the styling. She does all my styling. She buys amazing clothes and stuff. So I think it was probably just something for her. I bought her this really special ring in Paris, I remember, because that's one of her love languages is gifts. And I got her this little heart ring in Paris, and she wears it now because nothing can fit on her fingers because she's very swollen from being pregnant. And that was an expensive gift, but I remember it vividly. And that was probably one of the first lights down low checks. So I'm glad it's on the person I love.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I've got a fun random one. Your wife's
Yes.
pregnant, baby girl's
Oh
coming
yeah.
out soon. Husband duties. What was the most random pregnancy request and pregnancy craving that your wife asked? Because there are husbands who talk about driving to a fast food joint at like 2 a.m. to get their wife some form of like ice cream or whatever. Top of your head, what's the most random, crazy thing your wife has asked from you, food
It's
wise?
just so much chocolate. It's just as much chocolate as you like. It's like in the middle of the night she'll look at me and I can't Postmates the chocolate. So she's like, "You gonna go to the store right now and get that chocolate?" So I go with my friend Joel and we just go and we get such a plethora. Like she loves so many different kinds and she's British, so she needs that British chocolate. Like you gotta
Yes.
find the very specific British dairy milk. It's not just the Hershey's, no shade to Hershey's, but you need the dairy milks and these twists.
Yep.
Like she has such specific needs that that's the tough part. The specific British chocolates. I never knew that I would be there at like 2 in the morning looking for British chocolate in the deli or whatever else. So
And you
yeah.
can't really just get that at a corner liquor store or convenience store. You got to go far for that. All right.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh
Max.
yeah. It's
How
worth
about
it.
daddy prep? Like,
Yep.
have you been reading, that famous book, What to Expect when you're
Yes.
expecting? I mean, what
Wait.
have you read? What have you
I
watched?
have
Come
such a good
on.
one right here. So this was the book I started with. It's just like a dad book. It says we're pregnant, and it's like the first time dad's pregnancy handbook. And look at this guy. He's just like he's so nervous. This is my favorite. So at first I was like a chapter of this, like it's 3 pages. We read it every week. It's weekly. And then my wife kind of had a dress rehearsal. She went into fake labor about like 4 weeks ago. And that's when I got real serious. I was like, oh, this is really happening. So I read like a 300-page book the next day with every from not don't use baby powder, all the things. It just I got in. I got serious. I mean, I was always serious, but when you're in the hospital and it's like she's gonna be here 3 months early, are you ready for this? That's when you go, oh yeah, I should probably read the rest of the books and not just this book. So,
Oh,
How
Max.
about
oh man,
sacrifice as far as the house? Did you have to give up a game room to make it a little good place? You got to give up a pair of kicks, a whole box, a collection of shoes or something?
you know, I'm lucky because I have like a studio space at my parents' spot. Same spot that I've used for years. I like being cozy. My mom brings out treats. She brings out like little cucumbers. I got these giant rappers and all these big singers that come, and my mom's like, "Hey guys, you want some cucumbers?" and like a little bit of snacks. And so that was a big thing at the house. We didn't want it to have like besides where I'm right now. I didn't want it to have too much work stuff. So I had to move the studio and all that stuff. Really, the house is my wife's domain, and I just say cool, I like that. I really don't like that, but whatever else. So it's pretty much the entire house. I just, happy wife, happy life. But I try to be honest if I really don't like something. Even when we went for the house, there was a house she loved, and I was like, "This ain't it, babe." And she was so mad at me for like months. But I stuck with my guns, and then we found the perfect place. And now her mom's like, "I'm so glad that you convinced her to wait." And I'm like, "Yes, it's
So
worth. Just be honest and be ready for some pain, baby, because it ain't always gonna be easy."
it's about
Max,
picking your guns, Carla. When you
we
make that
we
decision.
yes, but he said a very important line, which is the secret that has helped many men for thousands of years. It's happy wife, happy life. Listen, you
Yes.
can choose to be right or you can choose to be happy. So I mean, At the end of the
Ooh,
day, pick
Dude.
your battles, honey. Max, we wish we could
amen.
have you for longer, but we
Ah,
know you're a busy guy. You got a lot of promo coming up. So please invite all of the monsters, all of the listeners to continue to request for your
ah,
song, to request for your album. I mean, let everybody know just how incredible it is because we know we've listened to it.
ah.
But for those that haven't,
You
please.
have it on loop. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
it's unbelievable. Thank you guys so much. Every request, every bit of love. There's all the numbers, all the big things you see. I know that's just individual people giving their time and love and energy to supporting this song with Suga. So thank you so much for requesting on RX, and thank you guys for playing it. I'm so honored. I can't wait to come back to the Philippines when it's safe. I'll have a new baby girl in my arms, and we're gonna perform it live, and it's gonna be amazing. So I'm really honored, and thank you again.
and
Thank
Max,
you,
I got
Max.
one more question, Carla. You know,
Hear me.
any message that you could give out to people out there who's looking to move forward in life, who's trying to
Yeah.
move forward, can't quite figure it out? You know,
Yeah.
what's your message for everybody?
I've always been a pretty smiley guy, and sometimes people have told me that I should be something that I'm not, and it takes a long time to just accept yourself. But honestly, I felt like the second I started kind of accepting myself, beautiful things like this happened, and I think that sometimes you want to give up on your dream right when you're there, and this is your dream, this is where you are, and you just got to keep pushing. So you have a dream, don't give up. You're so close to it, and sometimes your lowest point is right before the best. So keep fighting.
Wow. Thank
Oh,
you
Max.
much,
Thank you
Max.
so much. All I'm going to say is with this new music, with this positivity from him, there is a God. Hey,
Wow.
right in
Hey,
there.
that's
Thank
my
you,
girl.
Max.
She knows.
Max,
Pleasure,
thank
guys.
you
Thank you so
so
much for
much.
having
You
me.
Very much.
take care of yourself. We will see you when all is safe and well. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Max. Woo
Thank you,
woo!
baby. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, guys.
Monsters. We love you,
Talk to you
Max.
next time.
Take care.
Oh my gosh, Rico, that man. Guys, you gotta listen to
All
Color
right.
Vision. It is such a good album, honestly. Blueberry Eyes, if you love it, you're gonna love the other tracks as well. That was a great way to start our show, Rico.
And
Woo!
you know, a Thursday, it's something that we get. I mean, this is I learned so much from him just by smiling, and you can see throughout whatever you've gone through in life, it is acceptance. Just
Yep.
accept yourself, smile, and it'll radiate. And I love his.
Mhm.
I gotta get me a gold chain like that.
I loved his hoodie. It went so well with his personality. Like
Right?
he came in bright yellow, like, hi guys. It was like talking to a friend, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm so
Empty crap.
happy for him. And Monsters, he is like the perfect example of somebody who's been through a lot and managed to champion over it. So if that doesn't inspire you or motivate you to feel better about the situation, then rewatch this video because this man is a singer. He makes his living off of his voice and couldn't sing for 4 months. What does he do? He writes a freaking album. Yeah.
It's all about. And you know, when your dreams are right there, when you feel really low, maybe it's just right there. Don't give up. Just keep on going. But thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Rico Robles for this Facebook Live.
I'm Karla Aguas. More of the music on air, so head on over at RX931.